McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop. Episode 3. The Old Man Vanishes. September 9th, 1921. I am bound and determined to find out what's wrong with me. It's not every day you wake up and realize you glow in the dark. Perhaps I can monetize this. Is it cheaper to use human blood instead of glow-in-the-dark paint? I can give up a few pints of blood at a time, and then, voila! Easy money. Or would giving up pints of blood kill me? How many pints of blood have I got? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I am a freak and a monster, and I confess I feel rather giddy this morning. What's next? Will I learn how to ride broomsticks? Will I make china cabinets levitate? Perhaps I will be able to change my appearance at will. I am trying to keep my thoughts light, dearest diary, because anything else is a nightmare. I'd love to ride a broomstick, or be able to turn mice into pumpkins. What if it's worse than that, though? What if I'm dying? The friend of my cousin got horribly sick after working for Radium Luminous Material Corporation. She used to paint the tiny dials on the glow-in-the-dark watches, but after she quit, she started to get sick. The company said there was nothing in her claims, but she was sure the job was killing her slowly. Tiny things that glowed in the dark were poisoning her. What if it's the same for me? What if I've come in contact with something, and now my poisoned blood has started glowing like a radium watch? What if it's even worse than that? What if I'm turning into a ghoul? Something evil and spectral that lurks around rotting Egyptian tombs? What if I'm doomed? I've always been a dramatic person, but in this situation, I think I have every right to be. What's happening to me? I'm going to wring it out of McGillicuddy and Murder's pawn shop if it's the last thing I do. Well, diary, it's later, and I've been to McGillicuddy and Murder's. Right now I'm curled up at home in my own little apartment, with a cup of tea and a warm towel wrapped around my head. I've been worrying so much all day my head is throbbing. I went to McGillicuddy and Murder's after work. When I stepped inside, I didn't get that pleasant, bottled ship feeling that I usually do. I just felt terrified, like I was in a medieval castle on my way to be executed. I stepped up to the counter, and the old man still wasn't there. It was the woman I'd already talked to. I knew she was no help, but I was determined to try anyway. "Good evening," I said. "When will the old man who works here be in?" "The old man?" "Yes." "I don't know if we employ any old men." "Well, you do." She gave me the evil eye. She brought out a slim leather book and flipped through it. "It looks like he'll be in tomorrow," she said. "Wonderful," I said, but I didn't mean it. Tomorrow is not soon enough. "May I have his telephone number, too?" "I can't give you his information," she said. "Why not?" "Because I can't." This was the most intelligent argument I'd ever heard. "It's important," I said. "I'm sure it is." I huffed. "Well, can you ask him to call me?" I said. "Give him a ring tonight, and please tell him it's important. He can call me if he wants to." The woman looked at me like she was sizing me up. Once again, I felt like a threat. It's not as though I have a cannon strapped to my head. What exactly are these people afraid of? I suppose I can do that. Oh, good. She reached down and picked up another book, and then she brandished a pen. "Name," she said. Oh dear. Have you noticed, diary, that I never sign my name? It's not just an attempt to be jaunty and unfamiliar. I turned to face the woman, heroism high in my heart. "Melinda Maudie Merkel," I said. The crescendo of shame began. The woman scratched my name into the booklet. She didn't pause when writing down Merkel, but I turned vermilion. Melinda is a beautiful name. It was my mother's name, and I save it for special occasions. I go by Maud in everyday life, even though my legal middle name is quite literally Maudie. My father was just that sort of person. Maud is nice. I like Maud. But what I cannot forgive my parents for is bringing me into this world with the last name of Merkel, and then naming me with all M's to top it off. Honestly, when Henry Hubert proposed, I considered saying yes for 3 whole seconds, and do you know what the reason was? Melinda Maudie Hubert. At least sounds better. Once I'd given the woman my telephone number, there was nothing else to do. I doubt she'll even call the old man, and if she does, I doubt he'll call me. Tomorrow is Saturday, and I intend to spend most of the day at the pawn shop. I have to find out what's happening to me. September 10th, 1921. It's impossible. It's completely impossible. But it happened. I'm sure of it. I went into McGillicuddy and Murders today. The old man was in, just standing there behind the front desk. I nearly strode right up to him and demanded to know why my eyes were glowing in the dark, but I lost my nerve. All of a sudden, rotting away in an insane asylum seemed much more real to me. Since I couldn't bring the subject up outright, I wandered up to the front desk and began playing with the golden bracelets. The old man seemed bent on ignoring me. Suddenly, I stood up. "Did you try to call me last night?" I said. "I?" he said. He was saying I, as in me, myself, and I, but I heard I, like the one on my bathroom sink. I turned green. "Why would I call you, my dear?" he said. This was really too much. He'd seemed to know all about the eye when he gave it to me. He'd touched it like he loved it. Then he'd given it to me like he wanted to pass on a curse. Didn't he know about what it was doing to me? "I love the china eye you gave me," I said. "Oh," he said, softly. He was most definitely being creepy and mysterious. "Yes," I said, "and I just wondered where it came from." He smiled at me. "You know, I'm not sure. I don't know where it came from. I'm sorry, my dear." He was refusing to tell me anything. There was a strange look in his eyes, like he was keeping something from me. I was thwarted, but not for long. I devised a plan. I wandered around the pawn shop. I found what I was looking for, a small back room. It was full of odd statues and trinkets, and there was no window. The only light came in through the propped open door. I hurried back to the old man. "Could you tell me the price of something, please?" "Bring it here and show me," he said. "Oh, well, it's rather heavy," I said. He got up. My heart started beating faster. The old man followed me to the small dark room. I pointed at a random statue near the back. "It's that one there." As soon as he stepped into the room, I shut the door on us both. We were in complete darkness now, so I waited for him to turn around. "So sorry," I said. "I kicked it accidentally. Can you help me get it open?" I waited, but the old man said nothing. "I'll tell you my idea, diary. My idea is that the old man has eyes that glow as brightly as my own. If he saw my eyes, and I saw his, he'd have to tell me what was going on." But the old man said nothing. Finally I grew skittish, and I opened the door. He was gone. I stared, open-mouthed. I looked around the room for a hidden door. But unless he tiptoed lightly through mounds and mounds of tiny statues to reach a secret door, then he simply vanished into thin air. Either I'm going crazy, or I've hit on something spectacular. The young man with the hazel eyes. he appeared out of nowhere, too. We hope you've enjoyed Episode 3, The Old Man Vanishes, of McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop. McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop is written and performed by Minerva Sweeney Wren, all rights reserved. Please subscribe, share it with your friends, and support Minerva Sweeney Wren at patreon.com/Sweeney Wren. McGillicuddy and Murder's Pawn Shop will continue next week with Episode 4, The Man with the Color-Changing Tie.